86. 86 million Manchester United have got put aside to make a bid for João Neves. Even I'm a little bit sceptical. I'm trying to be positive at the moment with United and their transfer situation. I've covered how financial fair play could work in our favour, but 86 million on one player, and we're supposed to be targeting left back, centre mid, and a forward. I don't know if that's going to be doable. We're going to talk about João Neves. We're going to talk about Branthwaite. We're going to talk about other positions as well. Stevie Brailford's talking to the players. What's that all about? And obviously, we're going to bring up all the other news that's going on with United today. Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. Get your comments in the live section now. I'm Adam. This is Forever United TV. We're getting into mainly transfer speculation tonight going around Old Trafford and Manchester United. But yeah, make sure you get your comments in afterwards as well, on comments when the video has finished its live, because I want to get your opinions as I go into the night. I'll see where everyone's at with this in terms of how much we spend on one player. I don't think this is possible, and everyone knows I love João Neves. Like, that type of player, that profile is what Manchester United should be doing. Like, in one hand, we're saying, look, we can't spend big money and we've got to stop spending on Galacticos and superstars. On the other hand, we're saying we've got to bring the young players in. So it's there and then it's not, because the price is too high. Where do Benfica get 86 million for an unproven talent? Not unproven in Benfica in their eyes, obviously, and he's their player and they can charge whatever they want. He's well contracted up, and United are going to have to probably break the bank to get João Neves through the door. I suppose the question is to you guys, is he worth breaking the bank and blowing probably 3/4 of our budget that we've got this summer, according to playing safe reports? Now, I obviously have said that United can spend more than that. Are we actually going to spend like what I thought we could spend in terms of breaking down financial fair play, breaking these deals down in between installments instead of looking at the actual full price of a player? Like, 86 million is what? Installments of 20 odd million a season. United can afford that. Would have been easy able to afford this if we'd have got in the Champions League. So my big question is, like, where are we making that money from to make the difference between not being in the Champions League? We talked about it a bit this morning, about how we're going to struggle to make hardly anything off Mason Greenwood with the situation that we're in there now, contractually and obligation-wise, in terms of sell-on clauses for Getafe, that United aren't going to get a lot. We're struggling to sell Jadon Sancho because no one can afford him. How are we supposed to? And the reports are Manchester United are looking to raise upwards of 100 million in player sales. Now, you would have thought we'd have got that between Greenwood and Sancho, but the more and more talking that's going on, the closer and closer we're getting to transfer windows, the speculation is starting to worry me a little bit, and I don't know about you guys. I just feel like we are going to be struggling to get the likes of Neves, unless we actually do back the manager and trust in the system of us actually progressing and being more productive on the pitch and being in competitions going on to next season, i.e. we will get into the Champions League next season and we can then bankroll our transfers with the bigger money coming from there. I think United are going to have to take a little bit of a risk in the transfer market, simply because we cannot afford to fall behind anymore. Like, if people are going to be outspending United, then they're going to be further ahead of us. We're going to have to take some form of a risk in bringing certain players in to the club if we want to beat others to their signatures. Someone's going to buy Neves. I don't know who can afford 86 million or whatever the price is going to be. I really don't know. Like, I don't see anyone being able to afford that money. Like, are United under Ineos in their season of cost cutting? And like, there's news coming out today that United have taken away the commercial credit cards for the staff as a cost cutting ploy already at Ineos in their new regime after the audit. So if we're cutting every single penny, are we about to blow a whole budget on one player? A talented, promising, young, dynamic player, yes, and exactly the type of profile we need moving forward. But there is no guarantee with João Neves. As much as I like watching him in a Benfica shirt, and hopefully we're going to see him in the Euros for Portugal as well, his price is going to rise. If he does turn out to be this monster of a player that we're all seeing in Portugal, and that transfers over to, in Portugal playing for Benfica, and that transfers possibly over to the Euros. And let's not forget, they have got an outstanding team, Portugal, and people are ignoring Portugal for the Euros. I think they're up there, one of the favourites with what they've got. Can you imagine if João Neves actually shines in the Euros? And then what's that going to do to the price? We're going to be stuck again in one of them familiar Manchester United transfer windows where the price just keeps going up and up and up and up. And eventually you're like, whoa, just give up. Like, you're not going to get this player. You cannot afford this player. Like, if you're going to balance it out and buy everyone that we need, then you can't. If you're only going to bring in 3 players this summer, then we can buy Neves. We can. Like, that is definitely a deal. Are we willing to just go out for 3 players? Does that mean that some players... And when you look at it, I mean, take this for instance. Has something happened along the lines of Raphael Varane signing a new contract behind the scenes that we don't know about? This is what you start to think about, don't you? Like, if we're going to spend money on Neves, does that mean we don't need as many centre-backs? Can we get Jean-Claude Todibo in at 40 million? Maybe get Neves in at 80 million? God, that's still too much, but there's 120. If we do manage to raise 100 million, then there's a net spend of 20, and whatever else money we've got in the budget, we can then spend on a forward. Or do we bring back players that are on loan if another manager is in situ? You see where I'm going with this? Like, the whole transfer landscape changes constantly. And it all changes with the likes of what happens with Greenwood, Sancho, Varane. Like I said, if Casemiro stays for another year, then we can really invest in a certain area of the team. Because that way, I feel, going into the next summer, if we do manage to qualify for the Champions League next season, then we may see the likes of Casemiro move on. I think what's important when we look at the transfer window, João Neves, I think only comes in if Manchester United hold on to a couple of key players, and they are the big guns. Raphael Varane and Casemiro, if they stay and João Neves comes in, then I think United can afford to spend that money on him. I've said it all along. In this transfer window, we're hearing about this player leaving, that player leaving. Can we hold on to this player? We can't replace everyone in one window. And we do need bodies in places. And we do need quality bodies in certain places and positions in this team. And you can't just let everyone go and then just hope that you can bring people in. Like, I know there's a way, like, if you were a professional outfit and you're well organised, you're not dealing in deadline day of the transfer window, scrambling around for whoever's left. You've already got players in, knowing that one of your other players is leaving. You've already done the business and covered the gap that's going to be left by the player being sold on. United haven't done that for bleeding years. Like, Brighton are the best at that. I think Liverpool and Manchester City have always been good at that as well. Newcastle are moving that way, although hampered by financial fair play now. So teams are looking at that more like they're getting people in and then replacing them. So then letting the other player go. That's how it works. That's how a professional outfit works. And for me, I just think Manchester United right now, there must be something going on behind the scenes. Like, this has come from a Portuguese report. I don't know where they're able to get 86 million from. I think that's just them reporting on the price that Benfica have put on João Neves. Now, we as United fans, if we want Neves, have to pray that he doesn't feature that much in the Euros. And there's a chance of that because they have got an outstanding midfield. And there are a few senior players ahead of him. So we may dodge a bullet there with that one. Because that price is going to hike right up there, isn't it? If he has a good Euros. And then you got no chance of getting him for anything less than 80 million. So I look at it. And the only way I see this happening is if United don't let go of the likes of Casemiro and Raphael Varane. They have to stay in the team. We need experienced bodies and quality in them areas. Both are capable. We know they are. I think easily Varane's got 2 more years. Casemiro's definitely got 1 more in this squad. Doesn't have to play every game. If we're bringing in other players that can also play the positions, we can, like someone said earlier on today, nurture younger players through because you've got a decent-sized squad. That's what's important, I think. And Manchester United, in the depth and the quality of depth, is where we've struggled this season with injuries. So maybe you look at moving on Donny, Greenwood, Sancho, Hannibal, a couple of young players. Like, do we sacrifice one of Palestri and Ahmad? We can get a bit of money for either of them. Like, where are we going with this? Like, I think looking at it, Neves at that price is Not feasible, I don't think. I mean, I don't know how much Ineos are putting in. I know if the Premier League rules change and the PSR rules change by the end of the season, I don't know if they've caught wind of this or if the Premier League clubs at the top are confident that the PSR rules are going to change, because there is reports that that's going to happen. If they do, then all bets are off. Neves comes in. United can more than afford him. The wages won't be that high, which will keep it sustainable, and they can balance that transfer off. Like, they can write Neves off completely if they sell a few players easily. And then they can spend upwards of their revenues, which are massive. The wages are all down because we're not in the Champions League, and that helps balance the books also. But it all comes down to whether PSR changes and is a bit more flexible. Welcome to the Members Club demo. Thank you so much, guys. If you do want to be part of the Members Club, there is a join button right below the screen. Or if you can't see that from whatever you're watching on, whatever device you're watching on, then drop in the description below. There is a link there with membership on it if you want to be part of the FUTV army. Welcome along, demo. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. I'm going to come to the comments section very, very soon. Let's get them likes up as well, guys. Almost at the 100 already. Creeping up to 400 in the room. Let's get the likes up. Share the video, guys, and make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you have just dropped into the show. Yes, it's me. I'm Adam. Some people don't even know I've got my own channel yet. It's been crazy because we're going on nearly, 6 months now? Smashing it, guys. Loving everyone that's in and amongst it, especially the live chat. You guys are absolutely all over it, as always. And I am going to come to you next on this, because there's plenty of other stuff I want to talk about tonight. So let's get into Neves. Do you think it's possible? Have you got something worked out in your head like I have? As one of them detailed, crazy-minded Man United fans that are just thinking off the cuff, like swerve ball in it. How are we making this deal happen? Gary Green says Liverpool will snatch him. Facts. Who wants to play for a team of the past? Team of the past, seriously. I mean, it's not the past, is it, when you've got a new page turning and a new era starting under Ineos? I think, look at all the people that are coming to Manchester United, like Dan Ashworth, Wilcox, Barada. People are seeing the projects. We're going to talk more about what is changing at the club, because I don't agree with what's happening, what some of the stuff Ineos are doing. So a worrying one for me, and I'll get your opinions on it in a minute. Stu says, I've got a bad feeling Ineos have wrote this summer off already and won't do anything they'd like to do for another 12 months. They're over their heads, in my opinion. Oh, that's a bit worrying, Stu. Neves looks better than Enzo Fernandez, so Benfica will only sell for 100 million and above. I don't know if they're going to be able to get that much. The world and the finances has changed. Like, if they're looking to balance books or cash in on Neves, I don't know if they really want to sell him. Like, they're not going to be able to get 100 million. There are very few players on this planet that are worth 100 million these days. You only have to look at what Jude Bellingham, Harry Kane, the top level, proven, brilliant players. They're the ones that are worth 100. No one's going to pay 100 million in this market. I think 70, 80 gets it done. I do. Mr. Miracle, my ideal midfield signing would be a player built like a bull with a V8 engine that can petrol number 6 and 8 positions. Patrol. I was getting mixed up with the V8 there, and I got petrol in my head. Awesome yell from Adam when you scored, though, Kaz. I don't even... Was it me? Yeah, it might have been me, yeah. Liam says 86 isn't that much anymore for a transfer. It's pretty obscene, the fees players go for. I don't think it's like that now. I think it's changing. I think it's coming down a bit. I think what it is, like, do we believe the stories that are saying that Manchester United are looking for players that are coming to the end of their contracts that are going to be cheaper, easier to negotiate with the clubs, in a difficult position to try and haggle and banter against Manchester United? Or do we believe that Ineos are going in for the best in class? Because they keep on banging this drum about the best in class, don't they? João Neves out there is one of the best potential midfielders, not proven yet, and I keep saying it. Everyone ranted and raved about Enzo when he was there. Everyone ranted and raved about Luis. I mean, there's loads of players that have come out of Portugal and flopped elsewhere. I don't say Enzo's flopped, actually. No, he's just not been a £100 million player. He's not. Manchester United just have to be very, very careful in how they negotiate this deal. Like, I don't believe we're going to be dragging transfers out. I think Ineos will probably look at it and go, look, there's our bid. That's on the table. It's guaranteed. What do you think? and then take it or leave it. I think it's going to be, they're going to have to move fast. They really are. We've already talked about the short turnaround in terms of this summer and the time to actually bring players in because of the Euros and then the pre-season tour when we know nothing happens transfer-wise. So, yeah, it's going to be awkward. Rick says clear out first. I just don't think there's time, Rick. I really don't. United will miss out on targets. And this could be, like some people have said, but don't really want to say out loud, a flop of a summer for Ineos unless they really hit the ground running. This is why they're moving now. They know that they can't get Ashworth in. So the plan is now to move forward without him this summer. Like, forget it. We cannot waste any more time on Dan Ashworth. We will get him. We'll have to wait. But right now, the most important thing is getting everyone else we can in position to help Ten Hag this summer, if it is Ten Hag. I mean, more news on, but De Zerbi not being on Liverpool's list as well. And actually, there's more I want to talk about on the merry-go-round of the managerial situation as well. So I'll get into that as well. There's way too much going on tonight, but we love it. We love all the news coming out. Let's get our teeth into it because we want action as United fans. We want things to start happening. And when we get encouraging signs off the pitch and news coming out, it gives us that hope that we can have that summer. Again, it's all the talking. The walking, as soon as the season finishes, it has to be big strides from Ineos. The little stumbling steps ain't going to work, ain't going to cut it. I think we will get blown away by other clubs again if we don't act fast. I would hope that they've already got targets in mind and everything is in place as soon as that window opens for United to just go, bang, there you go. First bid in, done. You're out, see you later, paid off, whatever it takes. That's what we got in here. Ian Jackson, what's the score with this Jason Wilcox dude? Where he was crap as a player at Blackburn. Let's hope his business brain is better. He wasn't crap. He was all right in that Blackburn side. He did get a Premier League title, so you got to say that. He was all right. He wasn't the best player, I know what you're saying, but he did have a little bit of something. He was a very good player. Not a good player, let's say. But yeah, he is well thought of in footballing circles for his role that he's done at City. Wanted a bigger role at City, didn't get it, then moved as a director of football to Southampton. So he is moving up the ladder. And Ineos are taking, I won't say they're taking a chance, but they've gone in and gambled and tried to get him in sooner before he becomes probably more well-known and I would say his reputation rises even more. And with that, the stock, with that, the price, with that old compensation factor again that United are dealing with now with Dan Ashworth. Get it done before it actually gets to that stage. I think that's the sign and that's the signal coming out of Ineos right now. The Muppet Show, to make Man United successful is bigger than making any other Premier League club successful. United must become the biggest pull in football from top to bottom. Interesting what Gary Neville was saying regarding what is the lure to Manchester United this summer, because other clubs are bigger and better right now when it comes to football. And people would rather go to Bayern, Madrid, even City, Liverpool. There's bigger clubs in better situations than Manchester United. So are they then relying on Erik Ten Hag being the pull? I think there is something in that. And I think this is why Ineos, I mean, they're not stupid. They know that just them coming in and changing a structure and investing a bit of money isn't going to convince every player on the planet that United is the place to be again. Success brings that and trophies brings that. What they want is the right manager in place to attract people to not just the project that they are building, but the people within that project and what they are known for, i.e. the manager and what he can produce. Can he make players better? What is his history? That's what Ineos, I think, are trying to build. So looking at that, I think that's why all the managerial news is coming around, the merry-go-round and the rumours about United's new manager and things like that. I think that's where we're at with it. And I think when you break it all down, Ineos want to make a package look attractable to players. That's why I think he's going to get rid of Ten Hag. I do. 86 million for youth, them better than Anthony, I guess. Well, Anthony looks all right at Ajax. This is the worry I've got. Like, I want to see more of Neves, but I'm afraid his stock is already going that high that someone else is going to come in and take him away. Jason Wilcox deservedly won a Premier League winners' medal. That last day was a bit iffy though, Graham, wasn't it? It was a bit iffy. Oh, God. Remember that day at Upton Park when we blew that title? God. Peter says, I think the bank have already been broken. We need to sell to buy if we want to buy big names. That's or get a few players. And what would you guys want? Yeah, right, okay, let's put a poll out there. Let's just make one up now. I want to get your opinions on this. What's better? 3 best in class players. 6 okay, there you go. Poll is up now. So just a simple one. Like, what's better? Where do you think we should go? Do we need best in class? Sign 3 players, best that is out there in the transfer market this summer? Or do we go for more squad depth and potential players, i.e. the 30, 40 million players as well? Because apparently United are waiting on Everton to name their price for Jared Branthwaite as well. So we've got that coming around. Like, Branthwaite and Neves, I don't think can both come in one window. Like, you're dealing with 2 players that have got big, long contracts, having good seasons at an age where it is the prime, basically. It's the prime for a transfer window. Not prime as in developed and the best. I think that's around about 25, 26. That's when you know you've got the best in class. These are the prime players in a transfer window because they've got big contracts and they're going to fetch big, big value because they've got all the years for sell-on factor. And they could turn into an absolute will beater and be at that club that's buying that player for years to come down the line. So that's how I look at it. And I go, right, okay, if we are looking at a scenario where we've got, say, a Todibo or a Branthwaite, then I think Manchester United's top target, I mean, I don't know out of them 2 who our number 1 target would be. I think they're both on a par in terms of players, but I think it's a no-brainer right now that... For Ineos, this is like, do you know what? Actually, the more I think about it, the more the conversation that keeps coming up in my head of Ineos going for the best in class. We only want the top targets that we go for. Then it's got to be Branthwaite. That is who is being earmarked as their top target. Then they have to get him. Todibo would then be seen as the second rate, and that's no disrespect, but I think the price actually is telling in this because he's cheaper. Everyone's automatically going to think that they didn't get their number 1 target in Branthwaite. We just don't know. Are Ineos going to use the advantage of owning Nice and bring Todibo in? Are we going to try and get both? Like I said earlier on, has there been a deal struck with Varane for him to stay on another couple of years at a cheaper wage? What would you rather have? Varane for 2 more years or Todibo now? That's another question for you guys to answer. I mean, it's a difficult one because you could keep Varane and that could possibly open the door for bringing Branthwaite in, who's dearer. Or if Varane leaves, we buy Neves. It means we probably can't afford Branthwaite. We then get Todibo. What's the priority? What is the priority when it comes to signings with Manchester United? Nobody knows. No one's giving anything away. But honestly, I feel like centre midfielder, holding midfielder, and centre back are massive for Manchester United this summer. Like, if you was only going to buy best in class in 3 positions, what positions would they be? I'm throwing out the questions tonight. Mine would be centre back, centre midfield, and left back. That would be my 3 big positions for the football club. Now, some will say, Adam, you're crazy. You got Luke Shaw, you've got Alvaro Fernandez, you still got Malacia. Why are you looking at a left back? I just feel like it's about time Manchester United bought the next best thing. Like, we need someone we know is going to be there for the next decade, I think, at left back. And I just don't think Luke Shaw is it. I don't know about Alvaro. He could be it. I mean, again, like I said earlier on today, he's not been given that chance. We've not seen him. So we can't really judge Alvaro's qualities yet. Cheers for the 150 likes, guys. Let's see if we can get that up to 200 on today's show. Come on, hit that like button, everybody. Share the video. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button if you are tuning in for the first time as well. Well over 500 in the room with us right now. I hope you're all doing well if you are just joining in. And I've just joined us now. We're talking transfers. João Neves, is he worth 86 million? Branthwaite, how much are Everton going to sting us for? That's where we're at transfer-wise now. Something else I wanted to talk about, and moving on, is conversations between Sir David Brailford and players. And everyone's like, yeah, here we go. This is great. Ineos are doing it differently. They're getting into it. It's reported that everyone is a lot clearer. The players have been impressed with the vision of Ineos. I mean, I like it in a way, but you know what I'm going to say right now, don't you? If there is anyone at this football club that Ineos don't need to be asking what they think or giving opinions of, it's the ones that have been letting the club down for years, and that's the players. Go and get their opinion, let them know. Maybe you could have just had a team meeting with them instead of the one-on-ones. I don't know what's better. Maybe one-on-ones is better. But that's it. I hope we don't see that again. Like, it's a worrying sign. Like, I'm all for the structure, taking away some of the powers away from Erik ten Hag and letting him do his job and coaching the team. Because that is what is going to happen. That if Ten Hag is in situ, he's going to be a coach, a head coach. That's it. How much power do you want the structure and the hierarchy to have over the players? Like, the line is drawn in the recruitment for me. As soon as they drive into Carrington, sign on that dotted line, get out of the way. That's now the coach's job. Let them do their work. You don't need to be involved anymore. It just worries me that David Brailford is having one-to-ones. How much influence does that mean he's going to have further down the line? I don't personally like that. I don't like them interfering. Like, when bringing a player in and researching a player and making sure the players have all the facilities and the best-in-class equipment, medical treatments, nutritionists, everything like that, do that. Fantastic. You do not need to be talking especially to the players. Every member of staff, yes, because that's been going wrong. The only people you need to speak to regarding the players isn't the players. It's the managers that them players have absolutely slaughtered and thrown under the bus. You don't need to be speaking to any one of them first-team players. You don't. Introduce yourself, say hello, maybe give a group meeting or whatever, but you don't need to be having one-on-ones. You don't need to be getting involved in the players that are ultimately the biggest letdown at this football club over the last decade. Forget them. Go and deal with the staff. Go and find out what the Glazers have been doing wrong. Go and find out what the coaches think of these players that have let them down. Go and find out why it was all right for players to build up a tab because of fines about players arriving late, to then use that money to go and have a party in London at Christmas, only hampered by the fact that we had COVID. That's what you need to be looking into, not getting into bed with the players and finding out what they think. Forget that. The only thing that matters to the players is turning up on that pitch, putting that shirt on and playing like you mean it and getting results on the pitch. Ineos can change how that happens by dealing with the coaches and the staff and everything else around Carrington, nutritionists and all the fitness side of things, the physios, the preparation side of it. Give them everything that they can possibly get so there's no excuse for the players. Give them zero excuses. Best in class, coach just dealing with the players, all of the best facilities at the training ground. That's all they need. Then you know that there's nothing that they can come back with. Get out on that pitch and perform, or you're out the bleeding door. See you later. 2 years, apparently, Brailsford and Ineos and their ability to sniff out bullshit or whatever it is. That's what it needs to be. And I'm not for it. Like, reading through all of them comments and them extracts from the Telegraph today about Sir David Brailsford having them one-on-ones, I'm not for it. I'm really not. I understand that they have to touch base and they have to say who they are, introduce themselves and whatnot, but at the end of the day, they're there to play football and get results on the pitch. They're not there to get opinions. Like, apparently they haven't been asked for an opinion on Ten Hag, and what's the point in speaking to him? Like, yeah, tell them your ambition, where you want the club to go, and hopefully that is it. And I'm talking like this for no reason. I'm just going on with one of my worrying head concern moments again, and I can just laugh it off later. I hope that is the case. But you can understand with the way that this club has mollycoddled and bubble-wrapped, soft-soaped these players for years, that it is a concern that it's going back to type and it's going to be happening again, but under a different regime. I couldn't handle that again. Like, I'm sick to death of these players being treated like kings and gods, because that's what they are. That's what they are at Manchester United. They think they're above everything else. Adam, this is MDR with a super chat. Cheers for that, mate. Adam, the issue I have with young talents at the club is Erik ten Hag doesn't seem to rate, develop, or even play any of our youth for the most part. I mean, Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho, you've got to give him credit for them, mate. You have to. And now we're looking at a few other players coming through into the matchday squads. I think it is looking positive. It's looking a lot more positive in terms of bringing youth players through. It all comes down to MDR, other players being out of the way. I've said this forever and a day. The blockers are always going to be there, aren't they? The Donnies, the McTominays, the Antonys, the players that have been brought in. Eriksen's not one of them, no, he's not. But these sorts of players that are just like the squad players, like the depth, they're in the way of the youth players coming through. They don't all need to be there. There are some mercenaries there, and we need to get rid. We do. And I think that will open the door up for more youth players coming through then. Dobby says, Adam, I don't think the structure have the balls to stand up to the players. The Belfast Bebe incident happened after Ineos came in. It did, but they weren't announced, mate, so they had nothing to do with it. And they couldn't have dealt with it, because it would have been one of the biggest situations, and it was well documented and well reported in all of the news outlets. So if Ineos had any interference with that, then we would have been in trouble. It wasn't ratified, and they couldn't do anything. So, no, I can't bring that up and say that they have got a problem by not dealing with that. I think in the future that might not come around, though. Charles says, priority for me is a young centre-back to complete our team's spine. Mainoo can play CDM. Highland striker. We then need squad players amongst almost as good as them. Our wingers are good. Who's the good wingers? What are you saying is good? So I hate the polls when MC says what he wants, then makes a poll. Oh, right, okay. Talking about other numpties, I see. Devil's advocate, says Nick. Says Nick. Right now, they need one-on-ones as it's such a mess. Well, like I said, like, one-on-ones, let them know who you are, let them know your vision, let them know what your plans are for the club. That's it. Bye-bye. See you later. Like, go and trust your recruitment team now. That's it. You've done all the introductions. You don't need to do much more. You've already done more than what the Glazers have done in nearly 2 decades in the space of 2 months. So, a breath of fresh air, yes. Don't over-egg it. Don't milk it to death, though. Like, get in, get your job done, get out and go and do your other job, which you're good at. Like, dealing with players, I don't think it's the right way going forward. There is a good part of me that believes it is just a meet and greet sort of style thing, like introduce themselves and let them know that they're not going to be getting away with things. If that was happening, I'd love that. I'd love it. Be like, right, okay, pleased to meet you. This is our vision. Don't you dare fuck this up or I'm going to... You know what I mean? That sort of introduction, that would be fine by me. Like, I mean, don't rough them up or anything like that. A little clip around the ear or something. And put them in the place a little bit. Tell them, well, you ain't going to get away with what you've got away with this season, next season, matey. That's for one. That's one thing for certain. Louise says, one-on-one meetings is an opportunity for the players to say how they really feel about their teammates. I think it's part of the whole investigation thing rather than asking their opinion in general. Like you said, it's like, are they allowed to give opinions on teammates? I don't think that's a good idea. I really don't, personally. And I'm only saying that because I worry about how Manchester United are. It's like, we've already got leaks coming out now, still, since Ineos have been through the door. We get one leak about one player having an issue with another player, then that's it. That's it. It throws everything up in smoke. I just feel like, look, go and tell them what you're doing. Don't even give them an opinion. Don't even give them. They haven't got a right to even say what they think, I don't think. They have failed. They have they have failed very much. So, very much. Let me just see what else we've got in the chat. We need to go back in time and recruit some Vikings. Says Mr. Miracle. Rashford is not so good winger. Says Rodder, MDR, Scavini, Bisek, Bellacoccia, Silva, Inacio, Demande, Yoro, etc. There's tons out there. Oh, you actually gave me your list the other day, actually, in the comment section, mate. Appreciated that. Let me see now. Sim says, I was asked how I felt about my manager. I told them I loved him. Gary says, I'd hire Keane as a dressing room enforcer. The two-faced players would soon Scarpa or buckle up. If you was Manchester United manager, which young players would you sign? There's plenty of young players there. I like Branthwaite. I do. I love Neves from what I've seen. I like how he plays. By the way, playing tonight against Sporting, guys, if you want to watch him, Derby over there in Portugal. So go and check that one out. Sporting doing very well. So tough test and probably a good game to watch him in if you can get it on. But yeah, Benfica against Sporting tonight. Maybe go and watch him. It's an opportunity to maybe go and see what he's about and get your own opinion on him. Goals aside, if McTominay were paid thousands per pass, he'd only get paid a maximum of 30k a week. He's a disgrace to all other great midfielders we've had. Dobby loves McTominay, just so you know. Cole Palmer for me. That's a good shout. Cole Palmer, like Graham said, United fan. And definitely a player that I would love at the football club. I think he really fits in. He does. Kieran McKenna is emerging as a candidate to be the next Manchester United manager. No. Simple. That from United Reds on Twitter. I don't know that account, but yeah, I've just been sent that one by Kaz. I think she sent it me just to wind me up. I think pretty certain that's what it would be. Because there's no way United should be in for McKenna. Definitely not. He's earned his place in the Premier League. Hopefully it's with Ipswich, but not at United. Definitely not. 100% not, actually. Neves is tiny. I hope he's as good as a Modric. This tiny player thing, like, honestly, I don't think we were complaining when Ahmad and Garnacho tore Liverpool apart in the last few minutes. Small players as well, don't forget. 200 likes in the bag. Thank you guys so much. Amazing performance from you so far tonight. Dare I say 250? Have you got it in you? Have we got any more on 2? Can I say 250? 250? 250 over there? 250? No, going once? I'll let you bid for a bit longer. Go on. Sorry, I'm in stupid mode. Smashing the 200 likes, says Stu. Well done. Get some scouts out to Colombia, says Stuart. Man United are looking in the South American market, actually. It's been reported that we want to look more there, or Ten Hag wants to look more into the South American market, which is very strange because so far it seems like he's only really liked players he's known and the Eredivisie. Is that a bit mean? Is that a bit harsh? No, I think it's factual. I think it has been well-connected players to Ten Hag that have been brought into the football club. Evan Ferguson would be a great second striker to Højlund. Some would say he's better than Højlund, no, the Muppet Show. Why is Adam pretending to be an auctioneer? I was trying to raise the 200 likes up to 250. Any on 250? It's already at 220 now, near enough, so it seemed to work, mate. There you go. 500, Adam Blonde. Not a chance. You've always failed at that. I'm never in any worrying doubt at all. That is ever going to happen. But yes, I mean, when it comes down to Ineos and how their approach is at Manchester United, just to cover everything up and go over everything again, I do believe, like, as soon as the season finishes at the end of May, like the month of June, and it's not normally known for the craziness of the transfer window, like July and August come around, I think June is going to be crazy for Manchester United because it's going to be saying goodbye to quite a few players. And I think we're going to know if there is any work being done already now in the season by the time that the season finishes. Like what work has been done by Ineos, what conversations have been had, have we lined any players up or anything like this. I think that's where it's going to be at in terms of Ineos' first summer. And I'm gripped. Like I am massively intrigued as to what is going to happen. I cannot wait to get to that stage. Because as I said, I'd never want to wish time away or a season away. But right now, I just want this season over. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I just want to go through some of that Telegraph extract for what Sir David Brailsford was doing. Sorry, I'll bring it up now. It is understood, however, that players have not been asked to give an opinion on Ten Hag on his management with Brailsford, seemingly keen or not to undermine the Dutchman, with Manchester United still trying to qualify for the Champions League and win the FA Cup semi-final to look forward to. And with the FA to look forward to. Brailsford has moved quickly and decisively since Radcliffe's Ineos investment into Manchester United was confirmed, making approaches for Ashworth, who is in line to join as sporting director, and Wilcox, who has been targeted for a technical director job. The season can still finish with silverware. Yes, it can. FA Cup. With MUFC looking forward to the FA Cup semi-final date against Championship club Coventry City, but players are said to feel positive about the direction Ineos want to take United in, regardless of how the rest of this season goes. There is a feeling that communication has already vastly improved since the involvement of Ineos, with United players and staff no longer in the dark or unclear over the club's vision. Again, I'll go back to the players, and they're now clear of United's vision. Your job is to go and win bleeding football matches. That's the only vision you should have. And the only job you've got is to listen to the tactics of the manager and actually want to play for Manchester United and actually put the effort in. That's it. So if you weren't clear when you joined Manchester United what the job at hand was, I think we need to get some new doctors into Carrington and give you a bit of a once-over. Jesus, man. Like, stop going soft on them. Just checking through other news quickly right now. What's we got? Yeah, pretty much up to date on that side of things. But yeah, I wanted to go over all of the Brailsford stuff and what was said in the Telegraph. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered it there. Like, staff, I'm all for you. Like, the staff needed a clear vision. Like, that had to happen because going off the reports and who we have spoken to in current staff and former members of staff, and like just the breath of fresh air that they were all talking about as they came out of their meetings and how different it was. That's what this staff needs at Manchester United. They need a vision and they need a direction to go in, and Ineos need to give them that. As for the players, there's absolutely zero excuse and 0 point in speaking to them. They have seen managers come. They have won trophies with managers and then given up the following season every single time. Why is that? A manager has proved to you as a player that he is good enough to take you to a final and get you your first trophy at a football club. That is the case with a lot of the current players right now. Why then would you not trust in that manager the next season to go ahead again? Your job as a player is to follow that instruction to the best of your ability. It was Marouane Fellaini was talking the other day. He said it perfectly, and some didn't rate Fellaini and some had issues with Fellaini. I had a few with him, but I didn't think he was horrendous. I thought he did a good job for the club to his capabilities. And that's what he said. He said every manager that came, and even if I didn't understand him or what his direction was, I tried my best to learn and understand what he wanted, and I give everything for that manager. Yes, it was easier to do it for Jose Mourinho. There's a few players that have said that about Jose. That's the type of mentality you need. Like a player that's not going to kick up a stink about how a manager is working or operating at a football club. Players that bitch and moan about the manager, they're the players you just don't want. Like, if the manager's tactics don't work, but you give everything, then you can blame the manager. But you don't deliberately and I'm saying deliberately, and it's a big, big claim, don't deliberately down tools and can't be asked giving any extra. You don't do that. That's not professional, and you don't belong at Manchester United. You don't belong in the Premier League. You don't belong in football if you can't do that. MDRs, that's why we can't understand their attitude. Strange generation. This is an entire different era. Back in the gym tonight. Thanks, General. Thanks for filling us in with that. Problem is, they're too soft these days. Football has changed, spoilt by big money and at a young age. Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Guys, that pretty much sums everything up. Can you get me to 250 before we finish on the likes, everyone? We only need 11. So everyone give the video a like before we finish up. And that is us all done and dusted, guys. Thank you so much for your participation in the show. Great comments again, guys. Make sure you drop your comments in when the video is finished. It's live. If I've missed any of your comments and you want me to go over them, I will now start going over all of your comments at night as well. So get involved, get your point across on anything that we've spoken about on the show, whether it be to David Brailford talking to the players, whether it be the price tag for Neves, should we go for Branthwaite or to Debo, all of that stuff. Let me know what you think. Get your comments in as soon as the show finishes, guys. I'll get back to as many as possible through the night. And have a good one. Enjoy the football. There is football tonight. I think Spurs can pretty much leave us in their dust if they beat West Ham tonight. Big game coming up at 8:15. We need West Ham to do us a favour. And on that note, on that bombshell, 250 likes passed. Thank you, guys. Cheers for all the super chats, new members, and all of your contribution as always, guys. That's us done for the night. We will see you. Actually, just end that poll. There you go. Yep. Finito. We will see you all tomorrow, 12 o'clock sharp. No, actually, I forgot to mention it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm out filming tomorrow for the Emirates FA Cup. So there will be a pre-record in at midday because I will be busy. I'll keep you all afoot of everything that's going on. We'll be back tomorrow night live with a full-on match build-up. But yeah, I am going to be busy tomorrow lunchtime. So it will be another special video tomorrow as I am out and about trying to win a big competition. We will see. We will see. Guys, cheers for tuning in. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. And